Hey everybody, it's Sean and Trey with Reactions to the Classics. Before we get started today, we just wanted to invite you to take a look at our Patreon page where we have all kinds of reward tiers, anywhere from reacting to an entire album to songs, and to support us for as little as $1 a month. It really helps us out.
And you can also check out our Facebook and Discord groups down below. Got a great community of people who love music. And all that to say, y'all, let's get to today's video. What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined again by my dad Sean, and today Reactions to the Classics. We're going to be taking a look at the great Joni Mitchell and her record Court and Spark. This comes courtesy of a suggestion from our patron Bruce, so shout out to Bruce.
Thank you,
on
Bruce.
That one, and let's just get into the quick facts.
Well, it's her 6th studio album, released in January of 1974, went to #1 in Canada, 2 in the US. Her best-selling album in her entire catalog, number 114 on the Rolling Stones top 500 albums of all time. And in 1973, it was the first year since she started recording that she didn't release an album. Spent the entire year working on this album, writing songs reflecting kind of her new musical interests. This album's been described as pop, but also infuses her folk rock style and the jazz inflections, which is that new thing that she was really excited about.
And you can definitely tell that jazz influence on a few tracks in particular.
Definitely.
In this record.
And that takes us to the first track, the title track, Court and Spark. And speaking of the jazz and just a different sound, just a beautiful piano.
Yeah, you're introduced right away to that melodic piano and obviously Joni's beautiful voice, one of the best female voices in general.
And I'd only ever heard a few of her songs and none off of here.
And so I loved that, had it going for it. And we're introduced to this man. He comes up to her door and notes, says that you complete me type of deal.
Yeah.
She starts to warm up to him a little bit, but at the end of the day, she just can't change her life and leave the great LA area.
That's right, man.
So I thought it was a solid way to start off the record.
Yeah, and that takes us to her big hit, Help Me. I think I might have known the chorus maybe just somewhere over the years. I mean, this is January 74. I was born in August of 71, so I'm not remembering it when it came out. It went to 7 in the US, her only top 10 hit, 288 on the Rolling Stones 500 greatest songs of all time. Good, nice vocal performance. Definitely the song builds and builds. I thought the instrumentation, all of it just worked fantastic together.
Yeah, you have an effortlessly smooth guitar by Larry Carlton here, makes it sound modern even all these decades later, which I think can be said for a lot of this record. It's not dated at all.
I agree.
Which is a big selling point and something that's tough to do for some records in this era.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I think that the subject matter, again, had a good bent and dissection of relationships and love. It seems that both of these people are in a relationship trying to cover past hurts from a former relationship. So some good stuff to stew on there. And just a little Easter egg, Prince mentions this song in The Ballad of Dorothy Parker of A Sign of the Time. So we really love that record. So kind of cool to see the connection between those two great artists. And then we'll keep on trucking to track number 3.
Free Man in Paris was a single, went to 22 in the US. This one had a nice story to it.
Yeah.
It's about her going to Paris with Robbie Robertson and his wife, and she went with David Geffen, the way famous record producer. When Geffen was in Paris, he didn't feel like he had the pressures, obviously, especially at this time. You know, we're talking about early 70s where, I mean, record companies and the albums themselves were like everything. That's how income was generated. Nowadays, you can release stuff on Spotify, SoundCloud. There's some different avenues you can go, but so much pressure on the guys running these record companies. They can make or break people. So I'm sure every second of every day, somebody wanted a piece of Geffen. So he felt like the free man in Paris, because you can't reach everybody in 73 like you can. The boy ain't carrying around a cell phone. You're going to have to kind of track him down. I just thought that was an interesting subject for a song.
Oh, definitely. And musically, you had Jose Feliciano on the guitar, which I thought the musicians that she had on all these tunes just were very wise decisions.
Beautiful acoustic on this one.
You also had David Crosby and Graham Nash on the backing vocals to give this, yet again, a unique little flair to it. So another solid tune, I thought, and that's going to move us to People's Party.
You know, I thought this was okay song-wise. A little bit light on the message. Only a little over 2 minutes.
This one was actually one of my favorite tunes.
I like the subject matter.
Yeah, I think that she packed in a lot of great these lyrics in only, a little over 2 minutes. 2 minutes. She came across as being quite authentic and not pretentious here, because she's really noting that people are putting up all these facades and these fake personas at this party that she's at, and she feels a little out of the loop here. She feels a little, I think socially awkward would be a good phrase to put it there.
I've been there before, because I try to be real when you see all these fakeness around you, and it's like...
She knows that she's like fumbling around, deaf, dumb, and blind type of thing. So all in all, I think that just, again, points to Joni's talent as being able to really pinpoint parts of the human condition while still coming across as real and not preachy in a sense. So this was actually one of my favorites on the record. And then we close out side A with The Same Situation.
This one's a great performance in storytelling. Joni actually said, I don't want to name names or kiss and tell, but basically it's a portrait of a Hollywood bachelor and the parade of women through his life, how he toys with yet another one. So many women have been in this position, being vulnerable at a time when you need affection or searching for love, and you fall in the company of a Don Juan. She questions in the song whether she's just another one of them or he actually can care for her.
Yeah, yet again, another interesting take on love here.
And some autobiographical stuff here she touched on in another interview, but of course wouldn't, name names.
Yeah, I think it goes back to that longing, especially probably for someone in Joni's position in a male-dominated world. As well, she is able to bring some unique takes on this subject. And just in general, we want to be loved, even if we know that love might not be reciprocated at the same level or be coming from maybe the purest motives, like this player is.
Exactly.
in this tune. So a solid way to end this A-side for sure. And then we're going to kick off the B-side.
Wieck Har on a Hill. This one starts right off with some brass in here, banging along. Good instrumentation on this song. The story of it, she's waiting on a hill for this guy for 3 hours. Obviously, she figures out he's not going to show, and kind of just talks about how the start of relationships, there's always so much promise. Everybody's excited this could be the one, and then most of them it fizzles out quite quickly.
Yeah, musically, I enjoyed the guitar by Wayne Perkins here. The layered vocals added a great effect, and then based on the subject matter, another great point on how sometimes that spark, because she mentions that in this song, doesn't have enough to really light the fire for any long period of time. And then we get to one of my favorite tracks on this record, Down to You. This
won the Grammy for Best Arrangement, Accompanying Vocalist, Piano and Vocal mainly, Backing Choir. Most complex song on here instrumentally. You've got Crosby and Susan Webb joining Mitchell towards the end.
Yeah, and Mitchell even on the clavinet, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was quite the interesting touch.
And again, I think she, a little bit like People's Parties in the sense she's noting how having a lack of an intimate, close relationship with somebody can make you feel alienated.
Yeah.
She notes one of my favorite couplets in this record. Pleasure moves on too early and trouble leaves too slow. You can hardly enjoy the good moments before something comes and hits you like a bus here. And Joni really, I think, had a great way of words of putting that.
And it's probably taking place after a one-night stand and basically saying you kind of have to have responsibility for your own happiness.
Yeah, and then she walks by a couple in a park and sees that she doesn't have that.
That stark reminder in your face, which is just a brutal thing that most of us have been through.
Oh yeah, very tough. And then we're going to go to Just Like This Train next.
And I don't have a lot to say about this one. It's middle of the road, okay for me.
Yeah, this was probably my least favorite actually on the record.
Yeah.
And here she kind of notes the lovers and the boxcars around her, also the unique situation in a waiting room. Before the final verse and chorus, note that she has sour grapes because she lost her heart. Not too much more to say about this one, so we will keep on trucking to the next tune, which actually has Robbie Robertson of the band fame on guitar here. So yet again, showing the great features she has on this record.
Yeah, exactly. Raised on robbery, and on that point, the electric guitar on this is fantastic. Way more up-tempo in this song because it needs to be based on the subject matter. An encounter between a man and a con woman or prostitute. He's sitting in the hotel lounge drinking and thinking with a bet riding on the outcome of a hockey game playing on the TV. She approaches him and propositions him, aiming to get some money, or at the very least, some free drinks from the encounter.
Yeah, and we kind of note how this woman maybe ended up in this situation, or why she is the way she is. She says in the third verse, back in the day, whether it was a father or former lover, that she got a $3K check, blew it on just stupid stuff, but went out, bought a car, this and that. And so I think she figured out that trusting people might be a little difficult, so she's going to be as cunning as
she's going to be the manipulative one. She figures they're going to get you or you're going to get them. That takes a style.
Yeah, and here I think it really is just a look at how children see the world at times, because it notes how, growing up, people tell you don't do this or that. You feel like nobody quite understands you.
Yeah, and it's more varied instrumentation-wise than most of the stuff in here. It's just so-so for me.
I think I enjoyed it a little more than you, but definitely wearing the jazz influence, heavy-handed here, which was cool. A little different than the Robbery song, which was more funky and boogie-woogie-like. And then we're going to finish off the record with Twisted,
which is a song from the late 40s, early 50s. It's a whimsical account of the protagonist's insanity that satirizes psychoanalysis. This one is definitely different, Trey. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, it again had a bit of a jazzy rendition to it. Yeah, it was definitely unique, I think, from the rest of the record, so that it kind of piggybacks off of what you were saying there. I have to say, as somebody going into the mental health field, this therapist was terrible. Telling her how she was nuts, how she would be better off dead.
Not usually, you're not going to employ those tactics.
No, I was like, this is not smart stuff to do, Joni. You got to get away from this guy. But I like, even though she didn't write the song, there's a little flex in there by Joni saying that since she was 3, she knew she was a genius or something along those lines. I thought that was cool, though not a favorite. I still thought it was a solid tune, and that'll take us now, I guess, to our favorite tracks. Mine are going to be Down to You, People's Parties, and Help Me.
Mine are Down to You and Help Me, so we're right on the same page there. Now we go to overall score. Trey, I enjoyed this. I think on further listens, I would enjoy it more. I mean, I listened to it a decent amount, but not usually the kind of music, and I usually listen to early 70s stuff, just spinning. But very talented. Really like her voice. For me, it's a 7.5.
I like that, man. I was really impressed with Joni on this record.
Yeah, I don't think there was a bad song on here.
And I thought that it was great. Not only lyrically, but her voice, of course. And again, I'll mention the features, the great guitar work in here, the great woodwinds, reeds, and just the piano by Joni as well. So I'm going to be sitting at an 8.5 on this. Wow. I really dug it. So shout out to Bruce for this
Thank you, Bruce.
Let us know what you think of Court and Spark Down in the comment section below, y'all. And as always, Dad, appreciate the research.
Enjoyed it.
And until next time, y'all, thanks for watching. Happy listening, and we will see ya.